Hello, I'm Adela,
Hi, I'm Oliver.
and today we are going to talk about the gate or the gene key number 31 and the channel it makes with the 7, the channel of alpha. So we both have 31, so you will see 2 points of view about this gene key, and Oliver has the whole channel 31-7, named the channel of the leader or the channel of the alpha. So I'll shortly present how this looks in a human design chart, and then we'll explore what the meaning is. So this is my chart. The 31 is a gate of the throat center here, and the 7 is one in the identity. So when the whole channel exists, this bridge between these two centers is made. Being a gate in the throat center is a lot about using the voice. And one of the names of or of the words associated with this gene key is sounding your own voice or sounding your own truth. So it's very much connected to speaking to people or being a leader that influences people and speaks to people about their own truth and is an example to other people sounding their own truth. What I especially like about this gene key is that it's placed on the ring of no return together with the 62 gene key. And from my point of view, the ring of no return is also associated with the hero's journey, if you can imagine that. So it's like a ring that you go on, like maybe a spiral that you keep going on, exploring who you are, being a guide for other people, finding who you are. So it's no return, because once you get to know who you are and once you get to have more knowledge and be the leader of your own life, you cannot just undo that and forget what you found out. So when you start knowing stuff, you become responsible for who you are and for guiding other people. So it's a crafted leadership, a handmade leadership skill, if you want to place it like that. How do you see it?
Well, in regards to the fact that it's a throat center, I can tell you a little bit from my own experience, from my work that I do when I speak in groups and I have to present ideas and I have to explain difficult concepts. Uh, it is it is an essence of not necessarily liking the sound of your own voice, but liking how the ideas and what you're speaking comes out. It's kind of it's a bit empowering, and also I guess a little bit narcissistic, because you like what's coming out of your own voice. You think, oh my god, I'm so terrific. So yeah, the throat thing is very interesting, and I've definitely felt that a little bit, knowing a fraction, of course, of what you do about the gene keys and human design in general. But the one thing I'll say about the 31, and you were referring to the hero's journey, and once you know, you can't unknow. When you started telling me about all of this, in the back of my mind, the original impression I got, well, was kind of daunting. Oh, why me? I don't feel like I'm any special leader. I don't feel like it's anything. And I think a lot of people may feel that. It's like a lot of people may not feel very special. Um, a lot of people may actually have a very different response. A lot of people may have a response of, "Oh my God, I always knew it. Oh my God, I'm so great.
Mhm,
I'm this and that."
mhm.
And then they become very preachy. And you know how we've all seen those YouTube videos or those people that think they are God's gift to earth kind of thing. And, oh, my life is so great. You should do this. I eat keto, for example, or I'm just giving examples, or I do this kind of exercise a day and you should too because I'm enlightened or something like that. And I think I especially I cringe when I see those kind of people. And yeah, that's kind of one thing that makes me uneasy about this whole gene key is it makes me not want to ever come off as preachy. especially without not being asked.
Mhm.
That's like my biggest fear in regards to
Mhm. Thank you for pointing that out, because while you were speaking, I was having, the layers of this jinki in my head, and one of the words associated with the 31 is the shadow of arrogance, and the shadow of arrogance is very much related to I know. So it's related to what you said, like, okay, I know this is how we should eat. Every morning we should eat this. All the planet should eat this. So what I find very interesting is this road from going to knowing to not knowing, or discovering that actually there are different points of view and you just have one of them. So it is, in a way, interesting to see how a leader is made because he is democratic and because he can hear other points of view and not just impose his point of view. Because when that happens, he goes to arrogance and goes in the shadow state of the 31, which is I know. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. It happens a lot. It
and yeah,
happens
yeah.
to me
And
too.
you have to be invited, right? It's a projector key, so you have to be invited to share your leadership or to share your humility. I think, yeah. Speaking of the arrogance shadow frequency, I think a big thing that people may tend to fall into is becoming this divine figure, having these crazy Instagram accounts or YouTube videos. Ironically, we're kind of, I don't know, but we're kind of doing that, right? I mean, no one asked us to do this, but oh, like here we are talking about it. And the irony of it is just kind of crazy. But
Well, we embody the key in a way. So
yeah, I mean, we're just talking, hopefully teaching some people
yeah,
something.
this is our morning talk.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I wanted to also show how gene key profile looks. We both have it in the activation sequence for those who explore the gene keys. So mine is here in the purpose, 31.4, and Oliver's is here in the radiance. So we are having the programming partners mirrored. And I showed this because whenever I look at the 31, I also look at the 41, that is the programming partner. And 41 is very associated with anticipation and, in a way, feeling the steps that are about to come. So the leadership is set to get guidance, in a way, also from what he anticipates, or from, being in a way connected with the leaders from the past and talking for leaders of the future. So it's an interesting bridge between what was, what is, and what will be. So it's an interesting combination. My 31 is in line 4, and Oliver's is in line 5, and it gives a different blend. So for me, with line 4, it's leadership that has to do with communities and friends. So I always had a lot of friends, and I always felt this kind of connection with people in a very friendly way. And from this friendliness and from this opening up to people, sometimes people ask for my guidance or my experience in a certain area felt useful for other people. In your case, Oliver, it's line 5 that has the impact and has the voice. And I remember when you first came in our group, in the Network of Healers group, you said something and everyone was listening to your voice. So it's the impact coming from the voice, even if it's a double voice like the throat gate and the impact gate. So how do you see this connection with the 41? Because you also have the anticipation and the fantasy and the connecting to the future.
Yeah, the 41 is tricky. The main thing I was talking about in that meeting is the constant onus, almost like a burden on your shoulder that you kind of put on yourself to feel like you always need to reinvent yourself. That kind of struggle, it's not really so much that it's not conscious, but it's always like a nagging, itching feeling when many aspects of your life become stale. And it could take many different aspects. It could, let's say you're tired of the way you look, so you change up your hairstyle. You're tired of doing a certain thing, so you change that up. You're tired of the way you're working a certain way. You're tired of
Mhm.
eating a certain thing. Um, or you are bored of literally all your hobbies, so you get new ones. It's things like this. And in this process, you do different things in life and you're always evolving, and I guess people can tend to perceive that it's like, oh, you're such a leader, you're so inspiring, whatever, or you do so many things, like you try so many things. It's like, I don't want to do it. If I could just stay still and do the same things and be exactly the same way, I would. But it's there's something kind of pulling on us, and I think you don't have to have the 41 to feel this call. I think a lot of people feel the call and the need to evolve.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, that's sort of my experience with the 41. I haven't really given too much thought about the connection between 31 and yeah.
Uh, for me, this blend, this is why I'm very, in a way, connected with this ring of no return. For me, it was always about living stuff, living the experience, not necessarily like feeling, oh, I should try this new experience, as you said, but it's like you live them. So always people near me said like, oh, you lived so many stuff, oh, you tried so many stuff. And I find that the leadership is also connected to this, because you try stuff, you experience stuff, and then you can speak about how that happened to you and maybe inspire other people through your process. And I also resonated a lot with what Richard said in the audio, like 31 should take care of the way he lives life and the way he is a model for other people, because our life is like public all the time, so people look at your life and get inspired or not, ask for your guidance or not. So it's very important as an inner leader to own your life and live it with clarity and morality, because people will always look and it happened in my case, as you know, like you have to be true to who you are and to the process you are going through. So I find that interesting. What about the channel? How do you feel the 31/7 channel in your case, the alpha channel?
Yeah, so the seven, the alpha, or the path to virtue, and the path to guidance, I think is how it's referred to. The, the main thing I'll say about the seven is there's such a warmth and comfort when someone asks you to guide them in a certain way. Um, it's always been, it doesn't happen a lot because there's a certain responsibility, I think, with that path, that should you choose to guide people, you have to like really want it. Going back to the arrogance part a little bit, I know this kind of digs more into the 31 a little bit, but I think it kind of relates to the 7 as well, because I think the shadow of this is division, right? Well, a perfect example of this that I've experienced is when you know you can do something better, like you see someone struggling and you see someone's struggle, like let's say at work, let's say someone is leading just really, really boring meetings, or is doing things just terribly uninspiring and uninspiring. And you know how uninspiring it is, and others know how uninspiring it is. And you may even know how to improve it, how to make it better. But where the division comes in is where you don't say anything. Well, you're too arrogant, or you feel like you're too good to even do anything about it. And that's really the division aspect of the 7 that I think is what truly sets people apart, is when you choose to try to help that person improve it. But again, a lot of times that's difficult to do because they didn't ask for your opinion. So you don't really want to do it. It's like, well, why should I? No one asked me. Like, maybe they feel they're doing a great job. And who am I to say that they're not doing a great job when they feel like they are doing a great job? Will the detrimental impact of me telling them that be greater than the potential help I can give them, because I could potentially just destroy their ego and their self-perseverance, right? But back to the guidance part. Whenever I'm asked for advice, I always feel like a very nurturing feeling, even if it's like a colleague or a friend or something. I find myself truly wanting to give more and more abstract advice beyond the immediate request that they asked me to guide them on. Obviously, I tried to give them the answer they were looking for to the best of my ability, but I tried to always abstract out. That to me is always really fun, because I feel like I'm releasing so much knowledge, and maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. Who knows? But it feels really good because they asked me, and that's really the guidance piece of it. Is if they ask you to lead them, then you can, and if they don't ask you to lead them, then you could potentially watch someone slowly burn because they're doing something incorrectly. You know how to help them, but you don't. So
I guess that is a very projectorish theme. We should maybe wear some t-shirts like invite me. I'm here, just invite me. I guess a lot of projectors can resonate with that. Yes, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and going back to the first part about virtue signaling, is there's nothing more virtue signaling than giving unsolicited advice. So you may not really want to do it either. So yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I don't have that whole channel, so my perspective on it is not lived. But I know people that have this channel, and as I shared with you before, it's surprising to see that they never go there and say like, hey, I want to be the leader, or I can be the leader. It's very many times I see people having this channel just in the background and just being there when the time is needed and when the group needs guidance. Yes, they come out. Otherwise, I many times see them just like, oh, a leader here? No. You can't see anything here. I'm fine. And that's very interesting, because I worked with groups and I was like, okay, lead us. Why don't you lead us? So interesting dynamic. Yes, well, thank you a lot for sharing this. And yes, to sum it up, I find that 31 is always in a process of learning and sharing what it knows and reinventing. And as long as he knows, but he knows that he doesn't know all, I find it that the leadership qualities can grow. And there is a motto, one of the few mottos I have in my life. It's always let yourself be guided by the one who seeks the truth and not by the one who says that he found the truth. So I find this leadership key to be the embodiment of this. Like, go with the one that improves himself all the time, not the one who says, okay, I'm here, I'm super improved, this is the stop of searching. So yes,
Yeah,
this is
if anyone claims they found the answers, then you should probably go a different direction.
the next room. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you guys later.